Greetings, I'm joining us on this broadcast. Notice I'm not in a different location. Usually I am around this time. Trying something a little bit different. That'll be revealed in the future though. Okay, so where worlds collide. Go into that in a second. Creating alien civilizations, Pleiadian remote viewing. You probably do elemental remote viewing also. We'll see what comes through. Before we go into all that, just being a little bit cryptic here slightly. As I'm told at comment price sessions, the shop there, or the scheduler shop here is, I can't catch up with everything. I think I'm on the 6th or the 7th. No, I'm on the 10th for some people. Same situation here. The webinar sign up. I have the social network, Rabbit, behind the scenes, and the dating site. It's amazing what you remember when you. Geez. Okay. So worlds collide. So this is when worlds get destroyed. So if you're an alien being that wants to take over planets, some of us have a history of that. Apparently I have a history with that. Actually taking a world and crashing into another planet. I still remember that. And I guess you can say when you have to get out your aggression, that's one way of doing it. But doing that, well, it's just clearing out the old vibrations. Hopefully I spelled it collide right, but it's basically cleansing of reality, of reality itself, of creating, out with the old, in with the new, basically. So you become an alien being with a lot of negativity. You want to just kick everybody's ass. And you just clear out old civilizations that are not necessary anymore for growth. I know it's a little bit difficult for some, but it happens. We're kind of going through that now. Well, we haven't been wiped out, but the ones that are known to take over civilizations and realities are controlling this planet. So say like you have a lifetime where you're taking over worlds and taking over civilizations and all that. You know how all this works. You create your own Illuminati energy to control a planet, and you just know how the behind the scenes works. And then you come to a world like this. You change your ways, you become lighter eventually. Get tired of trying to take over everybody. You come to this world and you're here to unlock it. Of course, think about it, just clashing with worlds, destroying them left and right. It's like, that's some karma, especially when you keep doing it over and over and over again. But with all that too, new civilizations are created at the same time. So you might have a war going on in this area, but over here, a new alien civilization is being developed, and that's. You wonder why some people don't like each other. Well, obviously, if you've been through that type of war in the past, of course, getting past all that's a little bit more difficult. So we're going into a time of alien awakening where you feel like you've been part of something. Like you heard about the Orion Wars. That's one war. There's also Gray and Syrian War. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Even with the space wizards, like the Star Wars energies, there's of course, Star Wars has been kind of manipulated here, or because those that don't like it, so the dark side got involved with it. But yeah, it's more of a fourth dimensional world. So like the Force and lightsabers and all that. Yeah, all these different alien civilizations have their own version of that to some degree. For soul growth, for adventure, whatever it might be. But for alien civilizations to be born, usually it comes out of war, I would assume. World War II, we came into what we are today, so So yeah, the creation of civilizations are just massive, just obviously. So you have to have like a universe, a galactic war is kind of insane when you think about it. But think about it, your whole thing is about taking over planets. You say I'm not going to take over those worlds, and you end up taking over. You're trying to be a nice guy, you end up just you know rearranging reality altogether. And when a world like this gets shut down to this extent, you'll take a warmonger like that and bring him into this planet to open things back up. Not afraid to get attacked, not afraid to go against all that's been, all the propaganda, spiritual propaganda, whatever it might be. So, yeah, you say civilizations is like new. So is it's kind of like a flower. It's kind of like its growth. It's plant life, meaning that other alien beings feel like they're going to get wiped out. Seed other planets before they get cleared out. So when they're seeding different planets, you know, they come together and create a different species or whatever it might be. So, like even like cats, even mice and cats look similar in some ways. I guess it all depends on the cat. Yeah, I've noticed, certain angles of my own cats look like mice. It's just not exactly, but there is some, there's some similarities there. So, of course, in Pleiadian remote viewing, we're going to tap into those vibrations, and we'll see what else we get with other alien groups that are around here. So for Pleiadian energies, of course, they're very connected to the Native Americans. That's one of their connections. Very connected to Africa also. I think I connected them last time. I can't remember the whole details, but either way, what's happened to Pleiadian remote viewing energies? We'll just kind of move on from maybe some Zetas if they want to say something. Usually they're not too talkative, but of course, there's a lot of insectoid energies are here. Of course, we are going to a time of awakening where not necessarily negativity is going to be released, but where we can feel more of the ascension energies become stronger. I seriously doubt negative is going to be wiped out completely. Good luck with that. You need darkness, you need light, you need all of these things. It's just that we're being bombarded by pretty much everybody and their issues. Yeah, the aliens have their own issues, and we're seeing it. We're experiencing it through them. So, yeah. Well, like for example, yeah, like a reptilian being with nothing better to do, just wandering around, seeing us, and getting into our minds and messing people up, giving into domestic violence or whatever it might be. Gotta love that. Just because they're bored. Yeah, the mind is so open because people aren't aware of the alien energies here. They think it's all just a big joke, but yet they get manipulated by them quite often. So it's not the easiest thing to fight either, especially when you don't believe it's here because you can't see it. So what a perfect, I mean, it has a perfect setup here. Of course, as we shift our vibrations, we'll see it more clearly. Not yet. We're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. Uh, I mean, you can't really set a date. 2022 looks better, but it doesn't mean anything really overall. Well, there is going to be a lot of the mountain energies, from mountains in general. Will the vibration from mountains will spread around the earth more clearly, and that's another way of seeing alien vibrations, basically shifting the energies to a more higher frequency. For those that want it, of course, still many are still having difficulties with it. Bringing in drama, of course, drama is basically some issue you got to deal with, heal within yourself, etc. If you're talking about other people behind their back, and that's like your only thing, obviously, there's lots of healing to do. Well, because some do that because they're trying to improve themselves. Oh, wow, look at that person. I wish I had that. You'd be surprised how often, yeah. I mean, where I work, they used to have employees that they complained about the boss all the time. Not to say it was perfect, but geez, because they're envious of them. So they want to be just like them. They want to own a business and want to do this and that. So yeah, it's very frustrating. So either way. So Pleiadian energies, yeah, well, all alien energies are integrating more into the Earth to make themselves known over time. Obviously, not at this moment just yet. There is a lot of Pleiadian vibrations around childbirth, children being brought into the world to protect them at the best of their power. That right there is a gold mine of manipulation, of course, especially to the parents. Beings are always trying to separate the parents and cause all kinds of anarchy. Of course, some parents need to break up, but not all of them. Some just that's their growth, but they try to break parents apart so they can take obviously advantage of the child's energy and manipulate those energy fields. A lot of the child trafficking energy comes from archon energies. Now you can take that wherever you want. I mean, it feels like reptilian, of course. A lot of those archons also. One of the reasons for archons is so they can possess a human. So you have an archon being possessing a human and making the human to whatever they want. To keep this agenda going, whatever, because they can't really take human form, but they can possess someone. That's nice. That's what we want to hear. Of course, that's when you have dark entities also do similar things, but the archon manipulation is a little bit different. It's basically to just fulfill their own needs and not care about anybody else's. Just a selfish, and they can also help with man. So if they possess somebody, that person can sometimes easily manifest whatever they want. Also, doesn't mean they're the most nicest person to be around. Some of them are known for domestic violence also, because they want what they want, and they don't care how they get it. So they can be a male, female, wherever. So yeah, Archon manipulation is far worse than a reptilian from what I can feel. Reptilians are bad, but they do step back. They mess around, but they're trying to get people angry at each other, gossipy, and they just watch and giggle about it and watch everybody, destroy themselves. But Archons are more trying to grab onto you and if the person gets thrown in jail, try to take over the jail. And not all archons are aware of each other either. So if you have archon A and archon B, they're not always aware that they're manipulating different people. So those people collide and make things even worse. Or get together and have a kid, which is another almost like a psychopath, you could say. Possibly. So it's just those that are extremely wicked, you could say. Well, the archons, the negative ones, remove a lot of the humanity more than any reptilian, from what I'm gathering here. Yeah. So they're different Archon beings. I mean, they can be very positive. Archon beings can be angel-like, but also they can be demonic-like. That's something different. Archon beings. So Archon beings are like worlds have been like destroyed or dwarfed. They can go on those planets and take whatever energies, resources they can gather to move on. And if they get taken over and stopped, a lot of what they're creating or what they gather can be made into more positive energies overall. They can be used for positive. It's another way of advancing one's technology. A lot of our technology got advanced from negativity. A lot of technology came from negativity, not all of it, but a lot of it. Through war, famine, whatever it might be. So it's interesting. Let's see, we're going to some remote viewing. So worlds that get taken over, a lot of times they go through the root chakra of the planet and to just lower it. So it loses its orbit, and they kind of like a bowling ball, they kind of ram it into something else. It all depends. They use a sound frequency to do a lot of that. Also, hawthorns have been used against themselves also, to a certain degree. Yeah, hawthorn technology has been used against them. It's on and on. The reason this is brought in because a lot of this is being used here. So think of like Archon technology, kind of like a musical instrument. So as you know, musical instruments can be used for very harmonic, positive, and also used for manipulation. So it just gets better and better. So a lot of archons use Hawthorne technologies to move our realities. Probably that's new to some people through sound barriers and things like that. Well, also sound is used to stop childbearing too, or for sound can make a child not even want to be born. So I don't go into that. Well, it's kind of important as we shift our as things get lighter. We are going to a time where things will get lighter. As for wins, another story, of course. See message from the Pleiadian energies. Not yet. Well, humanity, yes, still has to find its own dark, or the root of its own darkness. Of course, the politicians are sent here, asked to come here to raise all kinds of hell here for people that need to learn lessons and challenges. So yes, the beings are invited here to make this world hell. And of course, they stay in power because they're teaching so many people. They're teaching people on many different levels. So of course, you're going to have darkness here. So when you're ready to end all those lessons, the dark people go away. So you go on the news and complain about the news and politicians, but they're all designed to, just make this world into a purgatory to a certain degree. And but humanity has to be wanting to release those lessons, but no time soon. Some just want more. They want more manipulation. Give me everything you got. Lovely. I mean, there's some people, at least in the past, probably even now, that had enough power just to bring down the planet itself. There's their own intentions of learning more about themselves and just wanted to, cause anarchy, of course, at the same time. So yeah, there are some powerful beings that can do that. I'm not sure who they are or what they look like. I guess some can be Anunnaki beings. So like you have a few beings that are very powerful, which you've already kind of seen that already. Like you take a couple people who can make it better for everyone or ruin everything. So you have a couple of beings here that can just want to cause anarchy and literally cause it here. I'm repeating that because it's kind of a big deal. So who are those beings? Like I say, some of it's Anunnaki, but not all of it. A lot of them redeemed themselves. Obviously, they kind of went too far here. But they're not really showing who they are. Some are Pleiadian beings. Yeah, they just wanted to. Some are Andromedan beings that caused that. They just want to just cause some anarchy. Obviously, it went maybe further than they thought, but nobody's perfect. We'll go into remote viewing also of Garthian beings. Yes, the fairies are usually around tree energies, of course. They're usually around feminine vibrations, wherever that might be, to just basically bring color into one's life. It also cause someone for an internal transformation. Like some people are, just have a whole change of life experience. A lot of fairies are involved with that. Of course, that's when the person's ready for it at the same time. Of course, they have angels involved, but a lot of it is the fairy vibration. Of course, the fairies are here to lighten the energies here because it's so dense here in any way they can. Some use sexual energies, some are using just attractiveness, but of course, they can also be weaponized. So, obviously, you have very attractive people that can heighten the vibration, but you also have attractive people that are ruining people's lives. And that's one of the tests of the Pleiadians are trying to heal that. So the aliens are trying to help the elementals here. One is fairy manipulation on humanity, which is pretty deep when you think about it. I mean, I've connected to aliens using looks to manipulate people, but I'm not used to seeing elemental beings doing the same thing, but at a harsher rate. Basically, they're more seductive. Yeah, it's just So, wizard energies, of course, is used here as black magic. But another reason why the wizard energy is here is to scare people away from magic at the same time. It's all about creating fear. Because you don't want to mess with that, right? You don't want to, that's too weird, right? Of course, Anunnaki, I think I kind of did this before, is very much involved with the church being founded, or just keep it general, just call it church. Well, the ancient church, which was that way. Of course, they're part of the gods and goddesses of the past, but that wasn't really have the same effect for longevity. Uh, so obviously, a lot of the stories of the Bible have been made up to a certain degree, but it's about its frequency. So you have the saints and all that. It's all about the frequency it's putting out. You can say whatever jibber jabber you want. It's the frequency, it's the color, it's what the saint looks like. That's what matters. How it's depicted on the window of a monastery. It's really just how you tell the story, how it looks for people to connect with it and keep them shut down. So it's kind of like building a cage around you, of course. Let's see, Pleiadian vibrations. Let's see. Yeah, the Pleiadians are usually around the mountain areas, Himalayan mountains usually, but of course you have a lot of ships underground. They're not showing where they are, of course. Of course, Nevada is a strong place for it. Yeah, I do feel like there's clone factories there somewhere in some dimension, somewhere that's brought here. So let's see. We're not about to open up higher dimensions just yet, where we know exactly who's here. It's on different levels. It's getting hot here. Not just yet. Like the elite are going to. I don't feel like a leader anytime soon to make themselves known. But definitely expect a lot of earth changes on their way. But it's going to be sporadic. It's not going to be what you'll be able to concentrate on or see coming, but it's already on its way. But yeah, some kind of shift is now it might be stopped and shifted, but not just yet. They're also it's like a Illuminati vault, not just a seed vault, but a DNA vault somewhere underground. Feels like it's California around there. Yeah, like a DNA vault of some kind. Jeez. I felt Mount Shasta actually, which is kind of scary. Somewhere, deep underground. Just a DNA vault of some, just, I guess where they can make their clone humans and all that. So, yeah, even for the elite, it's very controversial. It seems. As for us to get to the core of how this is all going, like who's doing all of this, it feels like those that are really controlling reality, it would give people shivers. Like if they did show up, it would scare people. At least that's the vibration to put out there. But they're extremely. Some of them are tall and very intimidating, like a 7 foot tall being. Usually they wear black of some kind. Of course, you do have magicians here that show up every now and then, but not physically usually. Um, you do have some people that are modern wizards now, and they might look controversial in stuff that they're wearing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad. It's just that they know how the darkness works, and they have to wear this type of rings and things like that to deter their energy field. Meaning that there's a wizards here that connect to the astral and have sometimes very difficult astral travels because they can kind of remember it. But it's also part of their manifestation abilities at the same time. Yeah, connecting to our power obviously is not the easiest. So it is like a Pleiadian light switch to turn everything back on at a higher frequency, but they're not allowed to use it, of course. Basically, a frequency level that's using the Earth's vibration for basically people to not have this blockages anymore. But it feels like our blockages are done on purpose to keep us safe over time. It's like the less we know, the better. So if you start opening up your abilities and start knowing about like the stalkers next door or something like that, and that's all you see, that can make it very difficult. When you just see this, I mean, you can see good here, but you see the bad, it can drive you crazy. It's kind of like having the news, but it's in your mind, but it's actually happening. So you see those events actually happening in your mind. Now, some people will have that, but not everybody. But when you open up your frequency, you'd be surprised how. I mean, you got light, but you also have like, what the hell am I tapping into? So Pleiadian beings feels like there's other beings involved, but Pleiadian beings can help with the Earth's vibration to shift into a higher frequency at their own at their own what because they do study all this type. What is good for us and what is not so good. Because I feel like they have messed with the frequencies before and it caused a war here. It might not the frequency might not have made any sense, but I think say World War I, World War II were caused by frequencies. Like a frequency that kills the stock market. A frequency to get us all kind of angry at each other. Obviously you're already mad, but there's energies here to make things worse. So see our Great Awakening. We're still not there quite yet. But you'll have more people connecting to alien ships just by living their everyday life. They wake up, they feel like they had a. You're already having that now, but over time it's going to become more clear where they'll have people actually feel like they're seeing a giant ship in the sky, but nobody else sees it. We're coming into that timeline, not fully just yet, but we are entering it slowly. Well, basically, for your average Joe to see what's happening here on a different level. And some people might be able, the average person might be able to tap into a massive amount of alien ships in the skies. And they're not even part of that type of lifestyle. So they're trying, well, at least message from the Pleiadians, they are people that are obsessed with sports. But some of them have a pretty good influence in life, and some of them have Pleiadian lifetimes, meaning that they have a Pleiadian timeline where everything works for them for the most part, not entirely. They have a nice, comfortable chair. They have friends around them. They pretty much live a normal life overall. And a lot of that is Pleiadian energy that they're connecting to. So, yeah, we're just going into a different type of awakening that's not going to show itself too clear. From what it seems like, government it's kind of at a pause right now because it felt August, possibly before August, maybe a couple of days or sooner before August. Some things are going to start to shift, but it's not very clear at this time. Not yet. Of course, a lot of beings incarnated here to keep a lot of the artificial intelligence energies here from here also to make sure that we're not taken over by artificial intelligence. And some of those people might start recognizing who they are. They understand technology, but they're not obsessed with it. Anyways, a different way of looking at that. Not sure why I'm seeing the camel. Well, of course, the Pleiadians work with a lot of desert energies. That's where most of the reptilians are, in desert areas. Not entirely, but a lot of them are. Those that are trying to hide what they're up to. And they also, reptilians also use satellite technology from their dimension that causes other aliens to not see what they're up to. Just because you're an alien being doesn't mean you see everything that's happening here. Because there's other beings that are blocking them because they know their frequency. But they also invaded them at one time. So from a Pleiadian perspective, for civilizations to, you say, kind of start from nowhere, some takes 10,000 years to develop, some take less. Usually around 10,000 years or more, usually. And sometimes these new civilizations, like some have like our human worlds, or just like some of the most attractive people in the universe, but a lot of them act like they're children. So they have like a 20-year-old that looks like a supermodel, but they act like they're 5 when they don't get what they want. See that here all the time. So, yeah, it's not really going. It's just life's a mystery and enjoy the ride while you can. Well, it's more fun. Not always fun, but depends on what level it is. It can be fun when you're not always getting what you want. But you see the benefits of it, and it does show itself eventually. Because, of course, stress also shapes the face and shapes what you look like. And that's, people wonder how they get their looks. It's just go by the stress levels they're going through. Yeah, some people might be ugly as to the stress levels, or not going into that. But because some people weaponize their looks and abilities, of course. Almost like an atomic bomb. People wonder where the atomic bomb comes from. It comes from just the person, and different ways of looking at that. But yeah, just get a very mad person and give them every reason to hate whoever. they can cause a lot of damage. So that's another version of atomic bombs to a certain extent. Yeah. But there's a lot of worlds that are given plenty of free will and destroy themselves. So that's why our free will is kind of tainted. We're not given full freedom just yet because how can we handle it? So we're just marching along as usual. So one thing about creating alien civilizations through war, not always the case, but a lot of times it's the case. They do show a lot of attractiveness comes out of that. But once again, does the soul, are they learning anything? So let's see here. Pleiadian ships around here, not so much around here, or mostly around the Panhandle of Florida, of course, because there's a lot of bases underwater somewhere, underground somewhere. There's a lot of area, yeah, there's just a lot of vacant space around the Panhandle of Florida. There's a lot of nothing. Like you have a city and then you leave that, like Tallahassee, you leave it. There's nothing for like 2 hours, something like that. So it's a perfect place to put some kind of something there. So it's not that hard. As we shift our vibrations, we'll probably see alien bases, but not yet. We still have lots. Well, basically, humanity has to remove the clowns in the White House and stuff like that, in government. Obviously, humans are having difficulties with that because, once again, a lot of these politicians were asked to come here by the human collective to teach them what they needed to learn, whatever that might be. Self-love is it's complicated. Let's see. Humans from the third dimension that are blocked constantly or don't want to evolve. Yeah, a lot of them do have clones, I mentioned earlier, on other realities. Some of them are some humans here obviously come from different species of whatever. A lot of bird beings that are in here in human form. The bird can be known as very manipulative energy. You hear about cats, you hear about, reptilians, you hear about grays. You don't hear about the bird very often. Well, just the carrions, the bald eagle, or the hawk. So some of them, not all of them, but some of them are known to be leaders. Like Bill Gates is part of the carrion race. You can kind of see it as like kind of like a beak type of nose. And they're known to control realities. That's what they're designed for. They like to be a leadership, but maybe not the best leadership, but a leadership overall. So some beings are sent here to be controllers of others. As you can see, that you're not born a leader and all that. Is it a carrion being? Does it look like that person would have wings? Maybe not angel wings, but so there has been a lot of positivity on this world, but obviously a lot of beings have taken advantage of that and turned a lot of light beings dark and so forth. So we're learning a great deal on that level. This is coming out of nowhere. Tarzan. Yeah, we're not really going into details on that one. I'm not sure what that means. Just Tarzan. Just, I guess they see us as, monkey people. So what I'm getting from Tarzan is just that we are, as humans, we weren't like Tarzan learned from the apes and just copied what he saw. So we're doing the same thing. You know, however you want to describe that. So we're learning from our environment what not to be manipulated by. We're doing that now. Like what version of humans, like, they show pictures of Thanksgiving, people sitting in front of a turkey and all that. Predictive program is freaking ridiculous. I mean, what about the Indian people? I'm just making Indian Day just to heal that connection instead of eating a turkey and making everybody sick. So yeah, Tarzan. So that's interesting though. But Tarzan, like when we're born, we just absorb our environment. And Tarzan was a little kid in a forest and just absorbed the vibrations of others. And so as we shift our vibration to a higher frequency, we're just more careful of who's around the children, basically, because that does cause a lot of blockages. And it keeps other children from being abducted also, but you have to have more people that are responsible to see those type of things. And you can see that's what we're working on right now. So we're working on future generations to be healed, basically for our for our future generation to keep stay somewhat together. Yeah, for those timelines too, because when a kid is born, they find friends, so they have timelines with them as part of the soul family, etc. Um, yeah, it's quite complicated. Some people wonder what they're here for. It's you have you're here for future generations to connect in different ways, and you're not going to always see it. You might not even meet these beings in your own life. You might be attracted to some kind of people for some reason. It's like, wait a minute, those kids I helped raise them astrally, which is kind of out there when you think about it. Not really, but it's like, are you astrally raising people? And probably. So, um, all right, we'll just leave it at that. Okay. All right, lessons everyone.